Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you most deliciously. So what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 1:10 in our old afternoon, my delicious little babies in our old England, and it's very dull outside, completely grey sky. Very cold, very chilly today, and very little wind, and that doesn't mean no. And that's the weather forecast now. Then, my delicious little baby. So, I only have one video today. Okay, my delicious little babies, and this one is just over 44 minutes long. My delicious little babies. Okay. And this uploader happens to have 3.33 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. Okay, the uploader is called, in the old space bar in YouTube, my delicious little babies, capital G Gloomy, GLOOMY, space capital S Sunday, space capital T Traveller. Traveller is spelled TRAVELER. So it doesn't mean that. So there's no two L's in that. Okay, my delicious babies. And the video should read, I'm almost through this video, my delicious little babies. Zombie, then in brackets, junkie, apocalypse, UK, the Hades of Birmingham, part 1. That's, where I live, my delicious little babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you. Zombie, in brackets, junkie, apocalypse, UK, the Hades of Birmingham, part 1. Yes, my delicious little babies. Now I'm going to close my book, and we must go back to where we need to to go back to. So, right, okay. What I'm going to say to you is about this video, my delicious little babies. It's absolutely awful to see. Now, I've seen it for years on a BitChute, my delicious little babies, and it was happening in America. And what these drugs are, is it fentanyl? They've still got a problem in America with their fentanyl. Mumba. Well, I've known about these drugs anyway, because I do believe that some of them were shipping them to ones who have done crimes behind bars, my delicious little babies. Okay, so that Mumba's been around for some years now, and the spice. So that's the same. This is not a 5-minute thing, my delicious little babies. This has been here a long time. Okay. And that's going back years ago. Okay. Now, I always say, for myself, my delicious little babies, and I hope that wherever you are, that life is treating you most deliciously, okay, and that you've got better weather than I have, my delicious little babies. But yeah, so what is it that I'm saying? Well, I mean, I always say this is the reasons why I do not like to go to my This is why I do not like to go to our Brummie Town Centre, because the last time, when was it? I can't remember now. Cannot remember, my delicious little babies. The last time that I was there, I seen one homeless projecting, just it didn't appear to myself that he could control himself. Well, I mean, nobody can control themselves if they're feeling unwell. But what I mean is, it's like, usually, if you've not been very well, you project, don't you? Okay. But he's like, sort of like this, just, you know what I mean? Okay. It's a good job that my thoughts was that he was sat upright. Do you understand what I mean? Because if he was laid down, And believe it or not, Martha babies, that's gone on for decades as well, you know, where the amount of mankind over the decades who have projected in their sleep. So, you know, either they've been lay on their back or something, and, you know, they've, you know, I do not mean to talk in a horrible way, but, you know, they swallow their own vomit, do you see what I mean? Which, of course, consequently, then they choke. But, yeah, this is who's filming, bless. He is homeless himself. He's a foreign man, bless, and with anybody not in that way, not in that way. And he goes around filming different places, it seems. I've only seen this one video. I'm yet to see some others. I will take a look, actually. It's really worth a look. And if you could see the state of our town, Brummie Centre. And I've always said as well, you know, when one's just... they just walk past with their everyday life. They just walk past and that's it. I mean... how has it got to this? There we are. How has it got to this point, Martha babies? Do you understand what I mean? Okay, it's interesting to look at some of the comments. Sorry here, yeah, stumbled there, rightfully so, because it's absolutely banging correct. I mean, you've got cameras, you know, all for our benefit, Martha babies. Okay, you've got old bill stations. I mean, Digbeth is, you know, they've got the shutters down at the front. I remember when it never used to be like that, Martha babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. Personally, I'm not shocked to see this, Martha babies. However, these are somebody's... we get back to it again. These are somebody's sons, somebody's daughters, somebody's uncles, somebody's aunties, somebody's sisters, somebody's brothers, somebody's cousins, somebody's grandparents. And they've been overtaken. And they do look like zombies, Martha babies. There was one in this. You need to listen to this, Martha babies. This man, you know, because they're sort of like this. And... well, there's some sort of dynamic. Well, it's not a normal voice. He's going like this. Okay, Martha babies. Now, there was a lot of talk about it. So I'm just looking at my little squirrel, little Daisy. You know, she was just hanging upside down then, you know what I mean, getting her food, you know, her meal, bless. Anyway, sorry, I do get distracted sometimes, Martha babies, yeah. He was clearly... it sounded to myself as though, well, like there was something else taking over this man. The amount of needles, you know, under the tunnels and everything. And then it gets worse, Martha babies, because these men, and by the way, there's an awful lot of which this uploader's talking about, an awful lot of the homeless, believe it or not, are Polish. You see what I mean, Martha babies, Kai? Talked about Poland, haven't I, Martha babies? Anyway, no, I love the Polish. I get, you know, not in that way, not in that way. I get along with the Polish. There we are, very well. Okay? But, yeah. But so that's what I'm saying to you. You know, ones need to, I feel, a little bit of time out to one's day and nights to, you know, to look into these things now. You know what I mean? So while the Polish leader is allowing in all those Ukrainians, okay, well, you've got Polish in other parts of the world who are clearly going through a very bad time, aren't they? You know, I mean, I know some very beautiful Polish families, but I'm talking about the ones in our Brummie town centre who seem to be in... I mean, you need to watch this video, Martha babies. You really, really do. And this was only taken in, what is it, September? You know, you have got some other nationalities there, yes, but what I'm saying is that he made a point of saying Polish. Well, do you know what I mean? I mean, sorry, excuse me. I mean, it wasn't so many years ago, bless the Polish, that they were coming to England and different parts of the world, to have a better life. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so this is what I'm saying, that not everything adds up. So when one's continuously talking about England, do you know what I mean? There's other parts of the world as well. Marvelous little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. And of course, for myself, there we are. I was born here. There we are. So I should defend my country. Do you understand what I mean? And what I'm seeing, we never used to see anything. And that doesn't mean yes. We never used to see anything like this decades ago. Nothing like this at all. But see how it's happening in America, especially, and England. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so who's bringing these shitey drugs in? Do you see what I mean, Marvelous little babies? Okay, but the other thing, yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious. I mean, the comments are rather obvious. I've only read a few. Well, and bless everybody, because everybody's got some input. They're all saying the same thing. Well, this should be on mainstream television, the box in the corner of the room, that poxy flipping box, but they won't do it. They just will not do it. The state of our Brummie town centre, and we got homelessness, bless them all, in all different places, not only in England, but all over the world. I mean, how can the world be, there we are, the way it is? And who has caused this? You see, the fact is, simple things, we know, there we are, who is causing this. Just like I was listening to our lovely Trending on Iconic with Not in That Way, Not in That Way. Sorry, I do apologise, Martish babies. I've got an itchy nose, a surprise usually. This morning, and this is all to do with the tax. So they're wanting to tax us all to the hilt again. I've said it before and I say it again, Mardelistic babies, nobody should vote at all. I'm not shouting at you, Mardelistic babies, okay? But I am very passionate about what I talk about. Nobody should vote. Nobody should, I feel, to the best of their ability, participate in anything. Look what they are doing to us, Mardelicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay? I mean, enough is enough. I totally agree with dear Jamie. Bless him, not in that way, not in that way. I totally agreed with everything he said. Enough is enough. Otherwise, we're going to have future generations. I've got 2 daughters myself. I know many other families who have got, sons and daughters and grandbairns and everything, okay? Otherwise, this is going to be a completely shitey world for them. Do you see what I mean, Martin? Little babies, okay? But let me just get back to this video. So anyway, what your man here, that doesn't mean no. What he's also talking about, which it's very clearly very disturbing, is these older men, and he did name, your man there, uploader, bless him, he did name different nationalities, everything from English to Polish to Bangladeshi, to Pakistani, like these old men, like say, I don't know, 50s, 60s, whatever. And then they go and take advantage of, it seems, the younger men, like about, 22 and things like this now then. And because these want drugs so badly, okay, who are on the streets, they've gone into this like homosexual thing. Okay, so in order to get the fix, to get the ka-ching, the change, these older men come along, and you can imagine, can't you, Martelish babies? Now, some of them, you've got to listen to this video, Martelish babies, please, and thank you. I beg you, the Lord of mercy. Because let me tell you, there isn't one moment where you're not, looking at your man on the video here and what he's filming. Some of these dirty men now, not only, you know, taking advantage like this now, and some of them, different ones, pay for the others to have, you know, like a rumble in the jungle, you know, to have, well, you know what I'm talking about, my delicious babies. Do you understand what I mean? They kind of pay for that and they film it. Then there's others where they like the smell of, if somebody has projected, if they've vomited and it's in their bit, oh my life. And they like the smell of the dirty clothes, or if they've, you know, weed themselves or, you know, soiled themselves. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. And they like the smell of it. These are just dirty effers. There we are. They're just dirty effers, man. You know, they've got these very strange, what is it, fetishes? You know what I mean? What they like. Do you know what I'm saying? So what's the question that I'm asking? So how can we find a way to help these? Do you see to me, not only in our old England and in Birmingham, you know, because I'm sure it's going on in all different cities in England, but in the world. Do you know what I mean? Because it appears to be going on in many places. But what I'm saying is, especially with homelessness and everything like this, but where is the old bill? Because from what I could see, I don't know, maybe I wasn't looking properly, but I didn't see any old bill. And the church there, there's a main church in our Brown Brummy Town Centre, Mardish Baby Sorrow. Well, at Crimbo time, you know, the fake Crimbo, they have lots of wooden stalls up, you know, and then they sell things there, you know what I mean? So it won't be long now before they'll be putting all those little stalls up and everything. Well, you can just imagine, can't you? You know, so you'll have little families walking around, you know, probably getting a bite to eat or something and having a look at little stalls and, you know, buying a few little trinkets or, you know, whatever and so forth. And then the little babies now, little bairns, have got to witness as they're walking past with their mummies and daddies, or with their mummies or with their daddies or with the carer or nanas, granddads, aunties, uncles, you know. And then they have to witness adults who are severely drugged up, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? It's really not very nice at all, but it's really bad. You really need to watch this video, my delicious little babies, please. But I mean, these all need help, but your man there had a point. The uploader, what he said when he turned around and said, he said, well, you know, if there was a war taking place, these wouldn't even know. They wouldn't. They're completely, as I call it, figure of speech, they're well out the damn game. Do you know what I mean? They're either stood up like zombies and bending down, or they're just on the floor. I mean, one man's not got a T-shirt on. He's not got anything. He's just completely flat out. It's terrible to see. There was another one where someone was just leaning and you could clearly see all of the, where he'd projected all the vomit. It's really awful to see, but, you know, when he was talking about these, and they are, in my view, they're dirty effers, man. These dirty men who, you know, go and take advantage of somebody who's homeless and who's got a drug addiction, you know, so that they can, you know, do things to them and get them to do things with them. Sickening, isn't it? My delicious little babies, absolutely effing sickening, man. And that's from September this year, 2025, my delicious little babies. That appears to be the state of our Brummy Town Centre. But how awful is it? I mean, my heart, sorry, my delicious babies, 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lads. Thank you, little lads, you're delicious and bright. Yes, I mean, my heart goes out. But it's very clear to myself that each and every one of these mankind, there we are, they need help. It's quite obvious. You only need to look. But it's just amazing how life just carries on. You know what I mean? I mean, I have said to ones, you know, over time, are you all right? Is everything all right? Do you understand what I mean? And then, you know, if one say, oh, you know, would I be able to have a sandwich or something like that, please? They usually always use their manners. And I will get them a, you know, a drink, whether it's orange juice, whatever they want, you know, an orange juice or something, or water, and, you know, get them a sandwich. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, but it's so sad. I mean, imagine the families seeing their dear loved ones like that. But this is what I'm saying. This is a very putrid situation, because it's making ones where they just cannot do anything. You know, the flat on the back out the game. You know, for others, it just stood like, it is like watching when you've seen it. No joke. It is like watching something out of a film. There we are. It really, really is. And it's very, very disturbing. Now, there is another video, sorry, excuse me, that I wanted to mention. I completely forgot to write it down. It's about just over 17 minutes long, and I've never seen this uploaded before, not in that way, not in that way. When I clicked on his videos, I think that came up on my feed, but this one didn't. This one video that I'm telling you about, and I'm glad that I found this one, because really ones need to, there we are, really see this terrible state that parts of our Birmingham are in. My delicious little babies, do you understand what I mean? Okay, please and thank you. But how sad. All we can do is just pray to our dear Creator that, you know, that they receive help, because there's only one way, isn't it? We're on a road to nowhere. So what's going to happen? And by the way, some of these as well, these little effers, man, what they also do is they pay for one homeless to fight against another homeless. Can you hear this putrid business? My delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. So again, you know, where is the help? Where's the old bill? What's, you know, that's the only question that I'm asking. Where is anybody to help? You know, these mankind, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. But this other video that I just want to say, I can't pop it itches today. I do apologise, my delicious little babies. This is to do with, when I clicked on your other man there's videos to see, there's only 2 videos. I think he's, when did he join YouTube? I think he joined 2011 or something. So where's these videos disappearing to? I'm noticing that with some channels, and channels that I've not ever seen before. And then, you know, but there's only like 2 or 3 videos, and sometimes only 4 videos. So I don't know what's happening here. My delicious little babies, okay? Maybe some of them are not uploading many. That's ding ding dong dong common sense, one of the reasons. But then there's probably other reasons here. There's something rather odd here, okay? In my view, I'm sure that we'll notice more odd things, okay, with YouTube. But anyway, but the point is, this other video that I'll tell you about tomorrow, this is to do with gas, electric and water, and it clearly says it's all free. What have I been saying long time? What have others there we are been saying long time? And your man there, that uploader, he's been taken to court a number of times. My delicious little babies, okay, but I'll tell you about that one tomorrow, because I must be honest, I forgot to write it down, but I must be honest, I was too engrossed in looking at this video. But what disgusting business, how some like the smell. How can anybody, my delicious babies, like the smell of somebody who's been vomiting, who's wet themselves, who stinks of severe body odour, who hasn't had neither a bath nor a shower, and who's, I'm so sorry to have to use this figure of speech, they're off the effing heads, man. How can one find that attractive? It's sickening, isn't it? And what your man here was saying, the uploader now, Gloomy Sunday Traveller, is that some of these are like rich men, okay? Some of them not so rich. But they're probably everyday men, you know, and they're probably 9 times out of 10, they probably go back to their wives, isn't it? Because half of them, I should imagine, had probably not told the missus, the wife, the wife, the girlfriend or whatever, that they're even gay, you know, that they're, you know, that they're like a bit of the other, you know what I mean? A bit of the old free card, isn't it? And then they go back to their lives, I suppose, for some. Maybe they are gay. But nevertheless, whether you're with a husband or a wife, a wife, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, the fact of the matter is you're not telling them, you know, what you've been doing. Imagine. You know, you have to look deeper, there we are, into it. But I know for myself, I'm telling you, this has got you. I mean, just the smell of somebody. Do you understand what I mean? With BO, with a terrible smell of body odour, is certainly, bless, off-putting. It's vile. But it's just so sad to see what I've seen. I mean, I walked around, I've seen it, but what I'm saying is to see the extent that it is right now. I mean, this is just awful to see. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know. Anyway, my delicious little babies, that's the end of my video. So I'll tell you about the other video tomorrow, okay, my delicious little babies. So wherever you are in the world, thank you so very much for listening, for any likes, for the, you know, most very occasional comments, and thank you so very much for watching, okay? But please, if you do go on to that video and you click on there, please could you pass it on, because ones need to, there we are, hear the damn truth, there we are, of what is going on. Because from what I can see, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better yet. And that's not myself being negative. It's just without anybody being able to help. I mean, your man there, the uploader, was saying that, you know, he has tried to talk to a couple of these, you know what I mean, and the women, but he said for 24 hours solid, you know, that's my words, you know. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Excuse me, my delicious babies. Well, for 24 hours solid, you know, the women are just totally out of it. And on part of the video, I thought, oh, the poor little animal. You know, we call our sons and daughters. The one, because he was going like this, you know, moving forward and that, he dropped the lead to his little baby, who we call our sons and daughters. And I thought, oh, gosh. And that little animal was looking at his owner as if to say, you know, but what can a little animal do? Do you know what I mean, mad? And what was worrying me sick, I thought, oh, for goodness sake, I thought, I hope nobody steals the little animal, because then the little animal then could end up in the wrong hands, you know, with some other flipping nutcase. Do you understand what I mean, mad little babies? It's just awful. I mean, I know for a lot of the homeless, to be fair, I mean, they do look after their beautiful little babies. They do. You know, they look after them better than they look after them. So, you know, when you've seen what I would call the normal homeless, do you know what I mean? Whatever the definition of, you know, normal is. But, you know, where they sit, but they look after the babies, you know, got water, got something to eat, they keep them warm, you know. But in this case, I thought, what's that poor little animal going to do? Do you understand what I mean? It just didn't know what to do. The way it looked at its own, it's just heartbreaking. But you really need to listen to this, and I really hope that dear homeless man, I hope that he gets a home, bless him. I really, really do. But well, I hope. In reality, I'd like them all to have homes. Nobody should be homeless, my delicious little babies. But what's the point I'm making? Is that bless the dear uploader for doing these. There we are, for doing these videos and for telling the truth. That you're just not going to hear with a box in the corner of the room, but bless him and please let his numbers rise. And, you know, maybe with his numbers rising and everything, maybe he might be able to then, you know, be able to get a bit of ka-ching, ching, ching, you know, to help him, to get him somewhere to live. Okay, my delicious little babies. Things like this, it just breaks my heart because it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this at all. Not in England, not anywhere, my delicious little babies in the world. Anyway, so wherever you are, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you so. Yes, but I'm not here to depress you, but honestly, you need to hear it for yourself. You need to see it for yourself, my delicious little babies. I haven't been to Brummyland for a while. Like I said, I cannot remember the last time I went there, but I mean, it's very clear to myself looking at it. It's just got flipping 1,000 times worse, my delicious little babies. Okay, but I can only hope somebody gets to help them. But there's an old-fashioned saying, isn't it? 'Cause it's not going to be easy to come off them drugs, you know. And once they're hooked on them, well, I mean, I suppose in a way, I suppose they've got to want to get clean, haven't they? They've got to want to get themselves off it. But of course, even to wean them off, and there's an old-fashioned saying, it's just an old-fashioned saying, my delicious babies. But, you know, for them to go cold turkey, for some, and over the decades you've heard that saying, you know, I love little turkeys, it's figure of speech, but, you know, some of them just cannot cope with it because it's going through, do you understand what I mean? Like where they're really addicted to these drugs and then sort of weaning them off it. But the cold turkey means to just stop it, don't they? That's why you get these... They try to make me go to rehab. I said, no, no, no. Do you know what I mean? Remember that song? Oh, our lovely Amy Winehouse. So bless her dear little soul. Not in that way, not in that way, yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, they clearly need a lot of help. But, I mean, that's going to be a severe, you know, to clean it up. It's no easier job, I'm sorry to say. Anyway, so until my next video, please look after yourselves now. Please try to look after others. But it's just heartbreaking to say. It's just heartbreaking. The graffiti, just everything, just the whole lot, just mankind, how they've gone, bless them. And, you know, can only hope for the poor little animals, you know what I mean? If they're out with their owners who are in this state, I mean, I'm sure that the owners love their beautiful little animals, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, to be honest, those beautiful little animals would be better off, you know, with, you know, in a far better place where they're going to get a home, be rehomed and looked after. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, not just stand on the street all day and watch their poor owner be drugged out of schools. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? It's just so sad. But anyway, that's the part one. You can imagine how part two is going to be, can't you, my delicious little babies? But bless him. But I really hope that he gets somewhere to live. Oh. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so very much love, my delicious little babies. So very lovely to talk to you today. It is beautiful to talk to you at any time, okay? How I love you so. Take care now. Thank you. Goodbye.